Some baseball, man. Major League Baseball is back. Only 6 games were missed of the season. The season will kick off April 7th. Opening day is here, man. And the remaining 6 games will be made up in double headers sometime during the season. I'm happy that the lockout is over. The players did cave a little bit. Even if you look at the voting, a lot of the Players Association heads actually voted against the new CBA agreement, but the players are ready to go. And from a fan perspective, I'm just glad it's back because baseball is my second favorite sport. I know a lot of people, especially a lot of black people, they feel like it's a boring sport, which I will not disagree with you, to be completely honest with you. If my dad didn't make me a baseball fan when I was a kid, if I wasn't visiting a ballpark as a kid, I probably wouldn't be a baseball fan either. But it's like once you actually get into the sport, to me, it's a beautiful sport. It reminds me a lot of life, you know what I'm saying? Because you might have a couple bad days. You might have a couple bad days in a row, and it's like, okay, shake yourself off, man, bat and practice next day. It's baseball. It's a game every fucking day, so you don't really have a lot of time to reflect too much on your wins or, be concerned too much about your losses. And that's what I love about the game, man. But the game is back. And, right now we're in a holding period with free agency. Everybody is waiting for Freddie Freeman to figure out where the fuck he's going to go. He's not going to be going back to Atlanta, which I think is a huge misstep for the Atlanta Braves, fresh off a World Series championship, that you let your franchise walk out the building. And you go trade for Matt Olson, and Matt Olson is, he's a good third baseman. First baseman. We're not going to sit up here and act like he's a bad player. I don't know if I would pay him the money that he got paid, especially when you've got Freddie Freeman out there. He got signed to after the trade. He got signed to an 8-year, $168 million contract, which would go through the 229 season. I'm like, if you're going to give that to Matt Olson, you could have gave that to fucking Freddie Freeman, man. So even the funny thing about baseball is everybody's like, oh, this free agent period is going to be fast. There's going to be signings happening everywhere. It's been a week since the season's been back, and we're just now getting to signings. Even baseball's condensed regular season moves at a fucking snail's pace, man. But as I reported earlier at the top of the show, Chris Bryant will be going to the Colorado Rockies for 7 years, $182 million with a full no trade clause. Still wondering about where Carlos Correa is going to go. The rumor is that he might be going back to the Houston Astros, which would be huge. Maybe for like a 1-year deal, he can come back and test the market. Anthony Rizzo is back in New York. Of course, some of the earliest signings are for Corey Seager in Seattle, Javi Baez in Detroit. Whole bunch of list of things going on with baseball, man. But I'm gonna talk about my White Sox. And by the way, my White Sox podcast, he gone. I'll be joined by two co-hosts now. Of course, y'all know last season I only had like five, six episodes because I was the only one doing it. And I just didn't really have any motivation to do it by myself. But now I've got my guys. Of course, you watch the show regularly. You know the homie Mikey, who's done our gambling segments in the past. He will be joining me as one of my co-hosts on the He Gone podcast. And, of course, the homie Dante, who you all know he hosts with Ball Don't Lie and Cinema with the guys with me. And also the newly named president of Barber's Chat Network. Salute to Dante. He will be joining me also on He Gone, and we'll be having our first episode as the Big Three next week, where we'll break down everything going on with the White Sox and what we think they're going to do in this 2022 campaign. So far, the White Sox haven't made any major splashes, just 2 signings. Joe Kelly, one of the best relievers in baseball, is leaving the LA Dodgers and will be coming to the Chicago White Sox. We've got my man Harrison. I'm begging out on names right now. You know what I'm saying? So give me a second here. Here we go. The internet. So we got Joe Kelly is going to be signing, and then we've got my man Josh Harrison. Josh Harrison will be coming second base to the Chicago White Sox, and that fills 2 needs right there. But right now, the space that the White Sox are in right now, they're in year 3 of, I guess, the window. Really year 2 if you want to say fuck the COVID season of 2020. It was only 60 games. So let's just put that season to the side. So if we look at this year 2, had a very disappointing end to last year, losing in 4 games to the Houston Astros. Really didn't have any type of chance in that series. The one game that we did win was that miraculous 6-run comeback. But we pretty much got the brakes beaten off them. Carlos Rodon is not returning with the team. He signed a 2-year, $44 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. And so pretty much besides that, the team is back. Michael Kopech will be back as a full-time starter this year. Really, it's not about them winning the division this year. That should be in the past. That shouldn't be a concern of yours. The AL Central is still a bad division. I think Detroit will be a little more competitive than usual. They've got some of their young guys. Of course, they got Javi Baez with them this year. But they're not going to be a threat yet. I still think they're a year or two away. Cleveland, if they're healthy, you can expect them to be competitive. But I still expect the White Sox to win this division by about 6 to 7 games. But this is about it winning a World Series championship. And as of now, there's still 2 major holes on this team. This team needs an everyday right fielder. This team needs another starting pitcher. If you look at the starting rotation for the White Sox right now, you've really only got 2 reliable names. You got Lance Lynn and you got Lucas Giolito, who Lucas Giolito got big as fuck over all the offseason. I don't know. He gained 20 pounds of muscle. He's a big dude now. Dylan Cease had his best year as a starter last year, but he's still having problems finding the strike zone after 0-2 counts. And until that happens, we don't really know how good this kid can be. No matter how good we know his stuff is, can he contain that stuff? So that's a question mark going into this season. Michael Kopech was great last year in a reliever's role before he got hurt again, but this is his first 4 years as a starter, and he's coming off that Tommy John surgery. We don't know how he's going to be in his first year as a starter, so there's a lot of pressure on him and a team that's expected to be in the World Series hunt. And you got the number 5 starter in Dallas Keuchel, who had a god-awful season last year. They're trying to give him up. My thing is this, and the problem with the White Sox for the longest time is they are a small market team in a big market. It just is what it is. Chicago is the 3rd biggest market, but they run like they're the fucking Tampa Bay Rays, and it makes no sense to me why you have this $1 billion owner in Jerry Reinsdorf who refuses to put money into this team. If you're banking too much on these young players, and I get that the core has to play better. Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Yo Moncada. These are the guys who got to ball out for this team to win the championship. Outside of Gavin Sheets in the playoffs last year, nobody. Gavin Sheets and my man Lurie Garcia, the only 2 guys that have a home run in the entire playoff series. Out of the White Sox core, nobody had an extra base hit. That is a problem just as much as the problem is with the defense. And so that's going to be something we need to pay attention to. Can this team get together? Because the American League is getting better. Boston's not going to go anywhere. Tampa's not going to go anywhere. Fucking Toronto's building a fucking powerhouse over there. They just traded for Matt Chapman today, and now they're trying to see if they can pry Jose Ramirez away from the Cleveland Guardians, which would be another huge addition to them. So the White Sox got to come with it, man. As a fan, I'm not going to panic on the roster yet. I'm not going to get angry at Rick Hahn yet. When this team comes back from Arizona from training camp, we'll see what the roster looks like. By then I'll react accordingly. One thing I don't like about White Sox fans, they're a very whiny fan base. And I get it. This team has really never been a winning franchise ever. We had a nice little year in 2005. We had the improbable run to the World Series championship that I'll never forget. But besides that, this team has been ass. Let's just call it like it is. Last year was the first time in the over 100-year history of this team that we made the playoffs in back-to-back years. This year, you have a chance to make it 3 years in a row. So that enough is just tell you how bad it's been. But all I'm going to say is what we said earlier with Ryan Polis from Bears fans. Let Rick Hahn work. We know he knows that he needs to get another pitcher, another right fielder. So we either relax, see if he can get it done. But it's put up a shut-up time for the White Sox. I don't want to hear about the things I was hearing last year with a team to beat and things of that nature. And then you go to the playoffs and you do absolutely nothing. I want to see them be a little more humble. I want to see that them take the regular season more seriously. I want to see them beat other contending teams in the regular season, which we did not do last year. I want to stop getting our fucking heads kicked in by teams like the Yankees, by the Rays, and Boston, and the guys who you're gonna have to meet in the playoffs. So I'm really eager to see how this team is going to come into it. Now, the first series is going to be on the road in Detroit. And for those of you who don't remember, Tim Anderson is suspended for the first series of the season because of the altercation with the umpire in the series in Detroit to end the season last year. So you will see a lot of Lurie Garcia and Josh Harrison in the infield to start the season. But overall, I think this team is going to be good, to be in the race. And I just hope they make the moves to be able to actually win that World Series championship, man. So that's all I got for baseball. We're going to see what happens in the rest of free agency. I think once Freddie Freeman signs, the rest of the floodgates will open, and then we'll start to see the second and third markets on the free agency open up, and then we'll start to see more trades, man. But let's talk about the NBA.